The home of the common Joe and the common Sally in the know, even more so than all those media talking heads. Purge time, as we have random topic of the day. It seems like we're not the only one that thinks Megan Rapinoe of the U.S. women's soccer team has a shady affliction for those transgenders. Jennifer Say, a legendary gymnast, had a lot to say. And she basically said what we've always said on this channel, and that is if you're born with the skeletal makeup of a man and you have the testosterone of a man, you're born as a man, it's completely unfair for you to ever compete in any women's sports whatsoever. And she went on to point out, then a little trash talk from Jennifer, she went on to point out that, Megan Rapinoe and their elite women's soccer team, the best in the world as far as women's go, got beat by a 15-year-old high school team. On top of that, they also got defeated by a senior team of 50-plus-year-old males, 12-0. So it's pretty obvious. And the only reason Megan Rapinoe is doing this kind of stuff is we all know she's about to retire, and she's got to keep herself relevant. And this is the only way she can keep herself relevant, is to get a little shock value out there, because that's what she's all about. She don't care about anybody but Megan Rapinoe and keeping her name out there, even though she's going to be retiring. Because we all know Megan. If Messier, one of the most famous soccer players of all time, if there was 10 Messier-type players, and there was 10 Megan Rapinoes, and y'all were trying out for a women's soccer team, Megan Rapinoe's would never make the soccer team. Today's topic of the day centers around Conference Realignment once again regarding the Pac-12, as Pac-12 Media Days was this past week, and George Kliavkoff and the Pac-12 once again had a chance to right the ship on a national stage. And what did old Georgia Porgy do? Old Georgia Porgy, he done wet the sheets again. Let's talk about it. Today's sponsor of the show is Eric Mofield of Mo's Woodsmith Shop. He can be contacted at 580-927-6019. If you need anything on a piece of wood, as you can see here, this is a cutting board that was sent to me by Eric. Real nice, handcrafted, no lasers ever. If you need anything on any kind of piece of wood, just contact Eric Mofield at Mo's Woodsmith Shop, and he can put it on a piece of wood for you. Even if it's Jason Aldean's Try That Small Town, or maybe you just want the outline of the country you're from, whether it be Zimbabwe or Israel. Eric Mofield at Mo's Woodsmith Shop can put it on a piece of wood. Well, here we go again. It's another episode of the Outlaw of College Football. And here they come once again, riding on in. It's the Outlaw Posse, now in effect. And today we have a few donors. One I missed last week, and I apologize for that. Alice Stokes made a $20 donation through Cash App. I'm going to put that in the description section. If you want to cut the middleman out, you can go through Cash App like Alice Stokes did. Also, Mike Chacker with a $10 donation. Keelback First. Johnny Fairlane with a $5 donation. Billy Townsend with a $10 donation. And VDRL all donated to the program. Appreciate the hell out of that, fellas and gals out there, because it keeps me up and going, keeps me motivated. Also, the Outlaw Posse continues to grow, as we have yet another Outlaw Posse member that's ready to go. Saddled up and mounted up, here he comes. It's Hoss. He's the newest member of the Outlaw Posse. He's now deputized, and Hoss has his badge. And if you want your badge like Hoss, all you got to do is hit that join button next to the subscribe button. It's not but $2.99 a month, 75 cents a week, and you'll get your badge, and you'll get deputized as well. Also, you'll be eligible for this, the Four Horsemen shout out of the day. The Four Horsemen riding in today, helping me with this college football invasion, are as follows: Marty King, Eric Taco Marino, Sheldon Lamy, and Tim Gillespie are mounted up and ready to go. And here we are once again. And if you want to locate me, I can also be located on Twitter at OCF Productions. Now, getting right to it here, seems like George Kliavkoff in the Pac-12 once again center stage in a bad way. It is now, according to, got my notes here, old school style, George Swaim, veteran reporter, is saying that Colorado is ready to go to the Big 12 as of today. As you know, George Kliavkoff had his little press conference. He was pressed on if they had a TV deal. And basically he said, look, we're going to make this about football day. This is football's day and blah, 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 blah. And yet George is the one that had promised a TV deal. This is like the 6th or 7th time. I could be wrong about that. I might be exaggerating, but it seems like the 6th or 7th, maybe the 8th, 9th, 10th time that George has said that they would have a date for a TV deal in place to put everybody's fears at rest. Because a lot of these Pac-12 schools, especially those like Colorado, Arizona, and maybe even Arizona State and Utah, they're a little bit worried. They may not admit it, and they may put on this facade like, oh, we're all together kind of deal. But from what they're saying here, according to Greg Swaim, they are ready to join the Big 12. And from this article, it's also saying that the Big 12 has already vetted Colorado, and they're clear. They got the green light. All they got to do is take that ticket and cash it in. So that little TV deal that George is talking about, they got set up, it may end up falling through again, and they may have to set another date. Here's what they should have done. George should have never set a date, period, ever. They should have just said, hey, look, we'll get the TV deal done when we get it done, and we'll let y'all know. And that should have been it. But he set like 7 or 8 different dates, man. You get everybody's hopes up and make these promises. It's just like when you call in sick to work. You might call in sick a couple of times, and they may believe you. But after you call in 5 or 6 times within a small period of time, sooner or later people start thinking, I think this guy's full of shit. And that's what people are starting to think, and I think Colorado's thinking that. And the Colorado donors, who had a lot to do with getting Deion Sanders hired, by the way, have said that they do not support Colorado staying in the Pac-12. And if they do stay in the Pac-12, that they're going to pull their funding. And as you know, with Deion Sanders, the elitist academia out there was trying to make it to where they couldn't hire Deion Sanders. They didn't want Deion Sanders. But those rich donors, once again, won out. That's why I try to tell everybody, these conferences are predicated upon athletics. Now, sure enough, with endowments and whatnot, you may actually get more money sent to your university through the academic side. But these conferences aren't predicated on that. So all those teams out there trying to hide behind that, like the AAU crap that the Big Ten tries to hide behind all the time, it's just a farce. It's just a grasp to try to make themselves feel better about being emasculated in the major sports that matter. So if Colorado does pull the plug, like Greg Swaim said, and he's a pretty reliable source, I mean, he's not right every single time. He may be wrong about this. But if he's not wrong about this and they pull the plug, I think it's going to be just more than Colorado leaving. I think Arizona will follow. And even though they don't really want to come, they've expressed that. Utah and Arizona State will probably follow. Utah, more specifically, has really made some statements that they don't want to be in the Big 12. But at that point, wouldn't you be hurting your university long term? Especially if 3 of those go? You better take the ticket while you can, Utah. And if those 4 do leave, I think the Pac-12 is done. Especially as a Power 5 conference. They may stay around as in name and invite a bunch of Mountain West teams, but as far as a Power 5 conference it being, I don't think so. And let's say it's just Colorado and Arizona that come. And the TV networks are okay with that because those are big name schools from another Power 5 conference. They may allow the Big 12 at that point to add 2 more G5 schools if they can bring in 2 already established Power 5 schools like Colorado and Arizona. At that point, if it's just Colorado and Arizona, I think that the Big 12 should go out there and try to scoop up San Diego State before the Pac-12 does, and maybe even go back to the East Coast and get UConn, because UConn, while they're not a Power 5 school, they have won a national championship in one of the 2 big money-making sports here recently, this being this past year with the basketball team. So it looks like the Pac-12 may be in some huge trouble. You guys and gals tell me in the comment section what you think about all that. That's all I got to say about that today. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Also, there's a little heart down here if you want to make a one-time donation, a little heart with a money sign. Hit that, throw a few dollars in the coffers. Also, as I said before, you can join the Outlaw Posse. It's not but $2.99 a month, 75 cents a week, and you get your little badge, get deputized, get your 4 horsemen shout out, and I'm going to add some more perks along the way that you will get as well. And with that, I'm out of here. KMCA to all the other teams. Class is now officially dismissed.